Episode 4 Culture Shock. As the name of this episode implies, or doesn't, I don't really care. Culture shock, according to Wikipedia, is an experience a person may have when one moves to a cultural environment which is different from one's own. It is also the personal disorientation that a person may feel when experiencing an unfamiliar way of life due to immigration or a visit to a new country, a move between social environments, or simply transition to another type of life. One of the most common causes of culture shock includes individuals in a foreign environment. Culture shock can be described as consisting of at least 1 or 4 distinct phases: honeymoon, negotiation, adjustment, and adaptation. Now, you can catch up with the whole article on Wikipedia. Like I said again, I don't really care. Now, for context, for someone who hasn't really traveled to a lot of places and just experienced a major culture shock from living in Enugu, I wasn't ready, enough for Lagos as much as I thought I was. First thing I noticed was that everybody bloody speaks Yoruba. I'm not even talking market women, bus conductors, agberos. I'm talking even my colleagues at work. At some point, I felt speaking Yoruba was a key requirement for getting the job because everybody bloody spoke it. Even those who were Igbo, even those who were Hausa, they just knew how to speak Yoruba for some reason. This didn't exactly come to me as a surprise. I mean, I spent 1 year in Enugu and I had to pick up the basics. And now, driver Ogapo, madam me go ne ye mokpa. I see Guinea, working by an moto now, yada 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 yada, all those things. And now I have to learn how to speak basic Yoruba. The first thing I learned was, oh wow, of course, if you want to get down from the bus, you have to learn it. You can't afford these niggas to, tell that you're JJC, they'll rip you off. It's a thing they do. But on the brighter side, I think my brain is kind of now adjusting. I mean, I low-key understand Yoruba now from all the language speaking at the office. I think it's the way the brain is designed. I'm tempted to say that this is language shift, but then language shift has to do with speech community and not just one person, a group of people. Now, moving on, pepper is a real thing. This is not a stereotype at all. Yoruba people eat pepper a lot, but the annoying part is that you don't really find good cooks. So imagine eating bland food that burns the hell out of your mouth. That's criminal behavior, and whoever is found guilty should be in jail. Next up is amala is overrated. When I ate amala and ewedu for the first time during one of the visits to Kwara State I had with my dad a few years back, it slapped. The food was sweet. It was good, maybe because I was eating around family and friends. But that also means that the cook was badass. But I'm just going to put this out there. A lot of Yoruba women that sell food, including the glorified Amala Sky, are just not delivering on the content. I mean, content is key, and you can't be giving me amala with ewedu and gbagiri, shaki, goat meat, etc. and the food is still not giving. I mean, it's sad. Very, very sad. Anyway, from things that concern my stomach, everybody's in a rush in this town. What is worse is that the transport fare is backbreaking. The first day I entered the bus, I was told my money is 500 naira, and I was shocked. 500 naira when I'm not traveling to another village. Another thing is that I have never seen more than one Benue speaking person in my life, but in Lagos, there seem to be a lot of them there. I've seen them in groups of 5, in groups of 6, in groups of 10. Yet another thing is corporate begging. If I get $1 every time someone tells me, Egmon, it's shop for you, senior boy, find me something now, oh my day for you, babao, agba. Not like I have not seen beggars in Port Harcourt or Enugu. The both places I have spent a lot of my life. It's just that Lagos beggars have a pattern, and they are either stranded, they need to get food, they're going for a job interview, they're hungry. Now, hungry seems like a legit reason because I know how I feel when I'm hungry. I don't joke with food, so I imagine somebody being badly hungry and I most likely try to help. But I've realized that in Lagos, it's all a scam, so I don't even bother anymore. Either way, when I'm boxed up and I feel the need to give, I do, but if I don't. Another thing is water. Water was the one that shook me the most because I'm from Rivers State, yeah. We swim in water, we do everything in water, and now having to move to Lagos where there is no water. Okay, see, I've never struggled with water before. Maybe once when I was in Enugu and towards the end of the year when water kind of dries out, yeah. But now I'm back in Lagos, staying somewhere in Lekki, and I don't quite understand why I'm going to open the tap and the tap stinks like a sewer. I can never wrap my head around it. The closest thing to describing how the water in the tap smells like is, how creek water smells, or a sewer basically. For context here, if you ever go to the river bank, freshwater bank, just dig your hand into the mud and smell the mud. That right there is how water in Lekki smells. And the color looks like diesel. You just need to look at diesel and have a mental picture of what the water in Lekki is like.
It's time to find out what your peeps are saying about culture shock.
My first time climbing a bike, it was one of the wildest experiences ever. I was holding on for dear life because I was wondering, why would this guy be moving this fast? He's not supposed to be moving this fast. Why is he moving this fast? And there were tears coming out from the sides of my eyes. He was crazy. He was crazy. I remember that it took every bit of masculinity in me not to shout, like, guy, what's happening now?
Culture shock. I got to find out a lot of Yoruba people are like not smart the way they portray them to be. The vast majority of them, they don't know anything. They don't even finish primary and much more secondary school. Because like coming from the south, you think like, oh, you don't go to school, the Westerners are more well educated. And I'm like, getting here, you even get to find out that even the ones that even went to school and they were educated, because they don't even know anything about Nigeria apart from what's happening in Lagos. And how is that you being educated when you don't know anything apart from what's in Lagos?